Welcome to this video performance 2, the 11th video in the Mechanics of Practice series of the Desperate Pianist. The piano videos which get you performing better than other piano videos do. Every piano player should be performing in one way or another. It's the ultimate goal. It's really necessary for you to become the best pianist you possibly can be. I suppose it depends on your physiology. It doesn't happen to everybody, I'm sure. But the worst thing about playing in public is that your fingers start to sweat a bit and then the keys get sticky. It may be that you're hot or just nervous, probably nervous, but it's just something that happens. And as the keys get sticky, then it's more difficult to play. The stickiness is even worse if the keys are dirty. A public piano has almost certainly got dirty keys. You'll have to get used to this handicap as a fact of life. It probably gets less as you get more relaxed. You can use a perspirant spray like for perspiring feet, and that helps no end as well. The action of the piano will certainly be different, so you might be put off by a heavier or a lighter action than you're used to, but of course you've practiced that a bit and you're a bit aware of it. There might even be some key tops missing or a note not working, so refuse to play if it's really bad, but don't condemn a piano and be a cynic because you might hurt someone. Just be gracious and just refuse to play. The piano might be out of tune, so play some suitable music if you can. If the piano is like a honky-tonk, you might as well play some honky-tonk music. Don't play some serious classical piece. If you play something in keeping, then people like that more. Even if only one note is slightly out of unison, it can sap your concentration, so try not to let it affect you. When you're performing, especially in public, there'll be great distractions sapping at your concentration. There'll be phones going off, there'll be that beautiful lady in the blue dress looking at you, there'll be the ant that's crawling up your leg and biting you, there'll be a fly on the music, there'll be a wasp buzzing about your face about to sting you, there'll be a light shining in your eyes so you can't see, a breeze blowing your music about, there'll be a tickle in your nose making you sneeze, but you have to keep going at all costs. It's like being a tightrope walker who can't stop for a rest. And it's really important because you just can't stop and scratch an itch. You just have to get your powers of concentration beefed up so you can keep going at all costs. While you have to keep going when you're playing, once you've stopped, see if you can sort out anything that's eating at you. For example, if there's a light shining in your eyes, just see if you can move it or stop it reflecting or something. You'll feel so much more empowered if you can fix these things. It's really worth doing. You don't want to ruin your time at the piano by being really uncomfortable or something really bugging you. It's a good idea to have the option to adjust your clothing because you might get hot or cold, and then you can fix that by just simply removing a garment. You might be playing a different type of piano, a keyboard, upright or a grand piano, and you've got to be aware of obvious differences like the action between an electric piano and a real one, and just bear that in mind. Don't let it throw you. For instance, the height of the music above your hands is a great variable which can surprise you. With a keyboard, it's almost on your fingers, and then with an upright piano, it's in the middle. But with a grand piano, the music desk is right on the top of the piano, and it's a long way from the music down to your fingers if you're used to using your fingers and your music as props. The upright pianos, of course, can be facing a wall, and that's good and bad because sometimes you don't want to know what's going on, but other times you do and you can't see. Whereas with a grand piano, you can look over the top of a grand piano and then you can see what's going on, which is sometimes quite nice as entertainment of your own. There's a large spectrum of audiences that will listen to your performances. Work your way up the ladder one step at a time. But however, if you're thrown at the deep end, don't worry, just follow all our practice techniques and your performance will be fine. So start with your humble self. Don't do any playing beforehand. Just come in the room, sit down and play from beginning to end. And then you'll see how good your performance is. And that leads on to saying a really important point is you're only as good as that first run through. If you play it 2 or 3 times and then perform, you're not that good because you've loaded stuff into short-term memory, you've familiarised yourself with the keyboard. The errors you make and the things you do wrong in that first performance is your genuine performance standard. Just don't forget that. Then you can play to an inanimate object like a teddy bear, which is kind of nice, not much feedback, or to a pet if you can get some cooperation. And if you really don't believe me, look at this little snippet. But I digress. You can play to a recording device, almost certainly your phone, video or sound only. Don't ignore sound only, that's really convenient just to throw the phone on the keyboard and play away. And then you can play back to yourself or to your friends. You can play to a recording device and post online so everybody can see you. That's quite hard to do. But you can also put it on the Desperate Pianist website if you're a subscriber, and you'll probably get some feedback from me and I'll help you if I can. You can play in public to an audience of no consequence, such as playing for free at the old folks' home. They don't know much, they're delighted that you're entertaining them, and I'm sure they forget about your mistakes in no time. You can play in public to an audience with consequences, such as in front of your school or when you're being paid, and that you need to have a really robust, steady performance because you're probably under a lot more pressure. But of course, you have all the techniques here, so you can do just that. And then you can play in front of an audience who knows about music, so you'll be having your performance dissected and poured over, and that's where I get imposter syndrome no end, but there you go. The audience won't always love you. I'm sorry, but it's true. You'll never be playing all the pieces that please everyone all the time. So you will get negative comments and they will hurt, because mostly people are used to seeing wonderfully talented artists and pianists on YouTube, social media, Netflix, wherever. And when they see your performance, which isn't up to that standard, they can be disappointed. But don't take it to heart. You know, if people say something, just try and get the real things out of what they say, get the constructive things out and forget about the rest. Just show me the YouTube video with no dislikes. I've only ever seen 1 or 2. Dislikes are just another fact of life. Similarly, if your audience starts talking between themselves or playing with their phones, which they will do in an informal situation, take it positively as a challenge to your concentration. They're not going to put you off. You're going to get to the end of the piece. Don't forget, you're not necessarily the most important person in the world. And we've said you're playing for yourself primarily. Stop when you've had enough and the mistakes are creeping in. Don't go on too long. When you've made that good performance, leave it at that and you'll be a success. Here's a summary of the places you can go to perform. It's a lot more difficult at the moment with COVID. Perhaps it'll open up and be like it was. Fingers crossed. You will have many more opportunities if you can play for free, which is a good thing when you get started. And of course, you won't be committed. You can quit if you find something better. You can play to the camera and post it online, as we've said. It actually, I find, is a bit more difficult than public performance because you can be minutely examined and played back and looked at many times over, say on YouTube. So you can feel a bit more pressure there if that's how it gets to you. You can play in church. This is a really good place to play because most hymns are simple and it's good performance practice. You need to watch out for the harder hymns. They can be difficult, and especially if you're playing every week, you've only got a week to prepare at the most, and you will probably be playing an organ. So although that's good for your finger legato, there's no sustained pedal, and it's different from a piano. Remember that you're accompanying singers, so there'll be a bit of extra pressure there. You need to be firm with the rhythm because you are actually the leader. So you just play. Don't worry about what they're doing. Big gaps between hymns can be boring. I would leave weddings and funerals until you have more experience because they are harder. We've talked about Old People's Home. I think this is the best place to gain experience by far, and a lot of them have already got a piano. You will gain a thicker skin. Old folk have fewer inhibitions, so they'll be very forthcoming with their opinions, good and bad. There will be lots of distractions of every kind, arguments, drop plates, medical emergencies, drunken singing, old grumps, you name it. But it doesn't matter one bit because you won't meet them in the street and no one will remember anything the next week anyway. You could have a try at busking. It's not usual with a piano because it can't easily be moved, but interestingly, an electric piano will run off a 12-volt battery, so there's potential there. There is a trend to have pianos in airports and shopping malls, and this is a really good, excellent performance opportunity. Play something short and sweet for the first time to build up your confidence. Don't be put off by the public or by the amazing pianists on YouTube. Remember, you're playing fundamentally for yourself. And just concentrate, don't let any of these things put you off. Unfortunately, these pianos can be way out of tune, so have your honky-tonk ragtime piece ready just in case. You can play in a pub or a restaurant and they're quite intimate, so you're under quite a bit more examination. It will take time for you to build up a repertoire for a particular setting, and you'll also have to play quietly and not be too obtrusive. Hotels, parties and receptions, these are amongst my favourite. They're fascinating environments for people watching and the most enjoyable. And you might even be getting paid. Your background and not under too much pressure. You're under even less pressure if there's a lot of loud conversation that's drowning out your playing. Have music which can raise or lower the mood. That's a really good thing you need to do for parties. You will have to perform as part of a national music academic programme where they have exams and you have to perform in front of examiners. And I've discovered recently, now COVID is here, a really good thing to do is play to a friend or a relative by phone. You can use WhatsApp or Zoom or similar, and they can make requests and you can perform to their requests, especially if they know what sort of thing you play. And then finally, there's the concert hall. If you get that far, you've either taken my advice and it's been brilliant, or you didn't need it in the first place.